or we are working through the 8 limbs of yoga, which were, you know, they were put together 1700 years ago or something like that in the Yoga Sutras. And it's just a guide that helps us to get through life a little bit more easily and a bit more smoothly. So we're still on the very first limb, but we're on the 5th part of the first limb. So it sounds a little bit complicated, and it's fine to just kind of pick up on one part of it and to see how, and to see how that relates to your life. So this particular part of this first limb is called Aparigraha. So Aparigraha just means non-attachment or non-grasping. So how does that relate to life, and particularly life at the moment? Well, what happens is that as humans, we like to be kind of nostalgic about the past, what's already happened in life. And we want things to continue, especially the good parts of that. We want them to continue on. And then we get very disappointed or frustrated when they don't. And also, we have expectations of the future and how things are supposed to be or how we want them to be. And then we also get disappointed or frustrated when they don't work out that way. So non-attachment is trying to let go of those expectations, letting go of that attachment to how things were. And just being open to whatever happens in each moment. So in life, it's really weird because the only consistent thing that happens in life is change. Right? Everything changes. If you look back at your life, nothing stays the same, ever. But yet, as humans, we like to cling on, we like to control how life goes, and we think that we can kind of hold on to things and have some permanence, when in fact life is very impermanent. So part of this suggestion about Aparigraha is to, instead of clinging to how we want things to be, how we expect things to be, just seeing if we can let that go a little bit. Just meeting each moment with a little bit more openness. So it doesn't mean we give up on things and we just go, what's the point? Or I have no expectations of my family, they're just hopeless, right? It's not about that. It's about saying, well, I don't know how, things are going to go today. I will be open to whatever happens. I'm going to meet each moment with curiosity, right? With openness, and allow it just to be. And it then makes life go a lot more smoothly. So we're going to work a little bit with Aparigraha today in class, and it involves it involves an element of trust, let's say, right? That things are going to work out, that things are going to be okay. So there's some allowance of trust, of release, of acceptance of how life is or is going to be. So there we go. So we're going to, I'll talk you through a few things first, but just so you know, so you can keep your eyes closed, when we do our breath work, all we're going to be doing is we'll have our hands by our sides. We'll be inhale, bringing the arms up, and they touch at the top, and maybe that's where the pause between the inhale and the exhale happens. And then we turn the palms down and we slowly bring them back down to the ground, and that's with the exhale. And again, once they touch the ground, we're noticing the pause between the breaths. So I will talk you through that when we get there, but just so you've got a visual that we're just inhaling with palms up and they touch, and exhaling with palms down and they touch the ground. Okay? So you're going to sit up super tall, however you're sitting is fine, as long as you can get that length through your spine. Shoulders are relaxing down away from the ears, and the shoulder blades coming towards each other at the back. And then closing your eyes here. And just pausing here. And checking in, do you have any expectations for this class? Can you let them go? Maybe it will be completely different than you're expecting. Can you just let it go and just see what happens? And just meet each pose, each part, just with some openness and curiosity, whether you can do them or not. And then just feeling your connection here with the ground, with whatever you're sitting on. Again, just noticing with curiosity, where are the points of contact? And although we might do this in most of the lessons that I teach, seeing if you can do it with a fresh eye or a fresh noticing what you're feeling in your body. How your fingers and hands on your legs feel. Notice any sounds in your surroundings. So they might be close by, they might be further away. Just paying attention, what's happening now? And it doesn't mean that everything that happens now is pleasant. There might be some unpleasant feelings. But you can invite them in too. And just checking in with what's going on inside of your body. Are there aches and pains? How's your body feeling? How does your emotional body feel today? Or in this moment? And whatever is the answer is okay. It's okay to feel emotions, whatever they might be. Again, just inviting them in with curiosity. And just checking in with what's happening in your mind. Again, maybe it's being judgmental or maybe it's got expectations. It's okay, we're human, it's gonna have those things are gonna occur, and it's not so easy just to let that go. We've got into patterns. That's okay. Just noticing what's happening in your mind, and you can always redirect your attention to your breath. And that's where we're coming to next. We're going to slowly inhale and exhale through the nose, really slowing the breath down. So we're not doing any movement yet. We're just slowly inhale, filling the lungs, filling the chest, expanding through the ribcage. Noticing the pause at the top of the breath. And you're exhaling, letting all of that breath go. So just continuing with that breath. And noticing even the impermanence with the breath. We're inhaling some in, and then it leaves the body. It doesn't stay within us. Some of that oxygen circulates. But the cells are constantly reproducing. Things are changing, even with our body, just from a moment-to-moment basis. So deep breathing. And when we exhale, we let go of all of that breath, right? Feeling trust that that next breath is going to happen, and we're going to fill our lungs again. So we can do some movement now, just turning the palms up next to the body and inhaling, bringing the arms up with the breath, touching the arms, the hands at the top when they get there, pausing the breath just for a moment, and then turning the palms down and exhaling with your breath and your arms. Just working with your breath, with the speed of your breath. No attachment to how fast you have to do it or how slowly you have to do it. Just being okay with wherever you're at. Notice how it affects your arms, the sensations in your arms with this. Just keep going just for a little bit. Really noticing your breath and appreciating it each moment. Three more. Making each one count. And when you're done, just placing your palms on your legs. In fact, turning the palms face up, thumbs and index fingers touching, being open to what the world has to offer you. And pausing here, your eyes are still closed. Just pausing and listening to the vibrations here. You can gently open your eyes. And you can either remain on your block or whatever you're sitting on, or you can remove it to the side. You can switch the cross of your legs or remain on your knees. And we're just going to do a little bit more breath work with movement. So what will happen is we're exhaling, rounding through the back. You can have your hands on your knees to really help you come back. Inhaling, opening through the chest. So you're rounding, maybe the chin comes to the chest as you round and exhale. And inhale, you can even bring your head up if it feels okay, your chin up. So you're just gently working your spine, you're working your breath, and you're working a little bit with your neck, just being gentle, no crunching, just being kind. Through the nose, really slowing the breath down. And coming up to center. We're going to do some roll circles with the hips, really. So we can inhale as we come back and exhale as we fold forward and round. So inhaling, just circling the hips. Exhaling, coming forward. And going the other way. Coming into center, arms reach up, inhaling. And just a little twist here, just finding, turning your head as much as you like. You can always drop your left, well, if you, depending which way you're turning, you can always drop your ear to the front. So I've got my left ear coming towards my left shoulder. And then inhale, calming back through center, reaching and calming the other direction, turning first, twisting. And then again, you can bring, if you've got your right shoulder forward, you can bring your right ear down to that shoulder. Calming back through center, reaching up. And then hands to heart center here. Taking a pause. We're going to come onto the side. So I'm going to come onto, or you can come onto your right side, say. You're going to use your right arm to press down into the ground. So I'm not collapsing down and allowing the shoulder coming into my ear. I'm really pressing down onto the ground. My fingertips of the other hand are just coming in front, so they're just tented, and I'm just on my fingertips, not on my whole hand. So I'm going to inhale and lift the top leg up. So you're listening to your body and noticing how this feels. It might feel uncomfortable, it might feel strange, it might be difficult, it might be easy. You're just listening to your body and just noticing and observing, and that's okay. Just feeling how that feels, notice it. Obviously, if there's pain, come out. If it's uncomfortable, notice that discomfort and breathe more deeply. We're going to bring the heel down, just hovering it over the other leg. Again, just notice how this feels, taking 3 deep breaths here. And then we're going to bring the foot forward. So again, it may feel weird, it may feel uncomfortable, just breathing here. So you'll probably feel this in your hamstrings. Just notice where in your body you feel this. And then calming back, we're moving that leg back behind you. So you might have to adjust your chest just a little bit. You're just moving it backwards. It might not go very far back, just noticing where it goes. It doesn't matter. It's not, we're not, you know, expecting to be like other people or like photos that we see of people doing yoga. We're just being with our body and just allowing it to be wherever it is. Bringing it back. Now, it probably hurts. The top leg probably feels uncomfortable. We're bending the knees. And we're still hovering the top leg off. And we're inhaling, lifting the knee up. The foot still doesn't come down, touching. We're just opening up through the knee. So inhaling up, exhaling down. Now we're doing something else. The foot is lifting up and then coming back down. So inhaling up, the knee stays about parallel and then coming down. And then lengthening the legs out. You're nearly done here. Just lifting one more time. Feel how that feels. It's challenging. And release. Notice how that side feels. Even notice how the arm feels. And we're just coming through center and we're going to go the other direction. So again, you're pressing your forearm down. You're lifting up so the shoulder's not coming into your ears. Just notice, and maybe this side is different, maybe it's the same, but remember to leave your expectations behind. So even if you hated it last time, just coming with an open mind. So we're lifting up through that leg. You can, even if it feels better, you can come down onto your forearm, or yeah, you can come all the way down rather onto your arm. Just really just leaning into it, lifting up through that leg is okay. So just notice if that's preferable for you. 3 deep breaths. When you're done, you're just hovering. Sticking with it, whether you love it or hate it, just breathe. That foot is going to come forward. And then bringing it through and back. And you can have your arm either way, it's still all good. Just listening to your body, making adjustments as needed. Breathing here. And then bringing it to center. Again, you can bend through the knees here. Inhale, lifting up through that front knee and down. Exhaling. Other way, the heel comes up. Notice how you feel, legs can come up, just lifting up again. You might find you can lift up just a bit further if you come all the way down, reaching up with that leg. Notice how everything feels. And you can always just hover it here, breathing. And release. Just notice how that feels. And we're going to turn onto the belly here. So you can just bring yourself down onto the mat. And you can turn your ear, the right ear, to the ground. And just allow yourself just to feel the ground beneath you here. Taking deep breath into your belly and notice, because obviously it's pressing into the ground as you inhale. And just notice that breath and how it changes your contact with the ground on the inhale and on the exhale. Coming up to center, you're going to bring your right arm forward. The left arm can come down onto the ground in front of you. If that feels good, I'll show you from the front. So you can have your left arm back a little bit. So you can have your left arm down and right arm is going to come forward. You're going to lift the opposite leg. So right arm up, left arm up. You're going to make sure your neck is long, long in line with the spine. So you don't want to crank your neck up. You're lifting your head up, but just keeping it long, the spine long. Reaching here, breathing here. Notice how this feels. Deep, slow breath. And release. The left ear coming to the ground. Relax. Let everything go. Other side. So we've got left arm coming out, right arm coming, right leg coming up, left arm coming up, and the right arm can come in front of the body if you like, giving yourself a little support. As you breathe here, extending is the most important part of this. So really feeling the reach of your heel, of your toes, of your fingertips. Deep breath. And release. This time you can just place your palms on top of each other and the forehead can come down onto the back of the hands. We're going to bend through the left leg, trying to bring it in towards the body. Now this is really challenging for a lot of us, and that's okay too. So if you can't quite reach it, you can just bring it in and see how far you can bring it in. You can always grab a strap or a sweatshirt or something like that and wrap it around that ankle. Otherwise, you can try and bring it in, see if you can bring it towards your butt. Breathing here. Again, it's challenging. Being kind to yourself. It's just a pose. If it's not working for you, you just see if you can get a little bit closer or find something else that works for you. Excellent. Release, and we're going the other direction. So again, if you just bring that heel in towards your body, you're going to have some positive effects. But you can otherwise, if you can get there, grabbing onto that leg, that foot, and pulling it in. At the same time, you're opening through that shoulder. And release, hands on top of each other, forehead down, relax. So we're going to do a lifting pose where the arms come back behind you and you're lifting up through your thighs. So again, if that doesn't work, just press your legs on the ground and you can just work with your arms. It's all good. So just finding what works. You can always interlace your fingers and press them back also. But not having any expectations for yourself. That's where, again, we get frustrated. If we expect we're going to do a perfect job or we can get to a particular place, we're going to be frustrated. So just working wherever we're at, what works for you in this moment. It might be different from yesterday, it might be different from tomorrow. Just being with your body now. Our bodies are amazing. Relaxing down, forehead down. Release. Calming onto the forearms. So this is Sphinx pose. Elbows are directly underneath the shoulders and we're opening through the chest. So we're not sinking down here, we're opening up. So one way of making this work is we're going to pull with the arms towards us. So it's just a really small, let's see, it's a small movement. So what happens is it's as though I'm pulling towards my body with my hands, but it's more of a subtle, it's a subtle movement. So if you feel like you pull towards, it helps you to open through your chest. Now you can stay here if you like. This is perfectly challenging, or you can lengthen through your elbows a little bit, finding a little bit of a deeper back bend here, but being gentle. So if you have back issues, don't go there. Taking a breath here, and then we're coming back down to the forearms. Now from here, you can either come up onto your knees, or you can lift up and tuck your toes and come into a plank pose. So again, not beating yourself up if the plank is too much. Knees is really good and you're getting some workout here. Or you're lifting, heels come back. Then we're going to bring the knees down, widening the knees, and bring the butt down to the heels, getting length through the back here. Nice child's pose. Deep breath. And you can walk your hands out to the left side. Left hand goes on the bottom, right hand on top. Lifting your head and moving your chest just a little bit so you're getting a nice side stretch through the right side. And then you can work your way over to the other side. Go to the right side, right hand on the bottom, left on top. Finding a nice side stretch here. Excellent. Coming back through center, finding yourself in a tabletop pose. We're going to bring the right leg out, lengthening it. Inhale. And exhale, knee is going to come in towards the nose. And then we're going to try and get it between the hands. So you can help it. If it needs a bit of help, you just lift it up and bring it forward. But you're trying to get that right foot where your hands were, or between your hands. And we can inhale, bringing the hands up to the knee, just above the knee. So your hips are square to the front and you're pressing forward. Shoulders relax. Now we're going to bring our hands, we're going to open through the chest. So you can either grab onto elbows or somewhere along the arms so that you can open the chest. Or if you can make it, you can do a reverse prayer pose. Either way, you're opening through the shoulders. So it doesn't matter which option you choose. Opening through the chest, being open to what the world has to offer. Even though at the moment the world might seem like it doesn't have much to offer, it does. It will. So being open to that space of where it's going. Breathe. Releasing the arms here. You might need some blocks either side of your front foot or books or whatever you have, or just working with none is fine too, but you're trying to lengthen through that leg, the front leg. So even if you don't have blocks, you might want to put your hands on your hips, right? You're trying to bring the toes in towards your body. And then you can bring your hands down as another option. So you've got lots of different options. You can bring your hands to your leg even. It's all okay. You're just trying to get that length through that front leg. The right hip is coming back behind you, left hip coming forward. So there's a little bit of a twist in those inner thighs. And then you can bring your arms behind you. If that works, taking a breath here. Inhale, we're coming forward and up. Lengthening, pressing forward. Taking a breath here. And again, we're going to come back. Lengthening here. Toes coming in, noticing how this feels. Maybe it's a bit wobbly, it's okay. Inhaling, reaching up. Finding that length, maybe finding a small back bend here, but being kind, being careful. And again, you're lengthening back. Last time. Toes coming in. Breathing. And coming back up. Hands are going to come to the heart center. And we'll place the left hand on the outside of that knee. Right hand can come to the lower back. We're twisting to the right. So you can always bring your right arm out to the fingertips, looking over the fingertips here. Inhale, coming through center. Exhale, calming the other direction. Excellent. Back to center. Hands are going to come down to the ground or to blocks or books or whatever you have. We're going to tuck the toes of the back foot, lifting up through that leg. And then we might lengthen through that front leg. Now again, this is challenging. So you're just being careful, you're being kind, you're having no expectations. You're just seeing if you can find some length. Again, you can bring your hands up to your hips if you don't have any blocks, or you can find length this way. So you're just lengthening through that front leg, feeling that right hip going back again, left hip coming forward a little bit, finding length through the back. Bending again through the back knee, through the front knee. Excellent. Hands coming down either side of that front foot, tucking the toes. In fact, we'll just come into a pigeon pose here before we move forward. So that right foot is going to come to the left side, and we're opening the hip here. So if either that works for you or it doesn't, if you're bringing it over to the left side, you're opening here, you might have it parallel to the front of the mat, or you might bring the heel in towards your groin area. The idea is to get the hips square to the front. If this doesn't work, you take your right foot and you place it over the left knee. You're bringing your toes up so the toes are coming towards the knee, and you can play with it here. Otherwise, coming into pigeon. With pigeon pose, if you want, you can bring that back leg in again. So again, this is challenging. We don't have to, these are suggestions, these are ideas, you don't have to go here. Where you're pulling the leg in, you can come into any variation. So just listening to what works for your body. It doesn't, there's lots of different options. Breathing here. So just checking that the hips are square to the front, releasing that back leg. And if you want, you can come forward here, finding yourself in a reclined pigeon. Relaxing through the shoulders, relaxing through the jaw here. Maybe moving it from side to side to release. And slowly coming up, you're going to press the hands down on the ground, tuck the back toes, bring the right foot to meet the left, and you're coming into a downward facing dog, so you can bend your knees any amount, getting length through your back. You can then move your knees and lengthen one leg and then the other if that feels good. And find some stillness here at the end of that. Breathing here, you can keep having your knees bent any amount. Finding that slow breath, and then that knees can come back down to the ground. Other side, we're inhaling, reaching out that left leg. Exhale, rounding through the back, knee comes in towards the face, and we're going to find a way to get that foot forward between hands, pressing the hips forward and bringing the hands up just above the knee, pressing the hips forward. Taking a breath, shoulders away from the ears. And then we can work to grab onto the elbows or somewhere on the arms, or bring the hands into that reverse prayer. The idea is that we're opening through the chest here. Deep breath. Releasing through the arms. We're going to then lengthen through that front leg. Toes are coming up. And you can find that length here, length through your back. Left hip coming back, right coming forward. And breathing here. If you've got more flexibility, you can bring your chest down towards your leg. And remember, you can always have your hands on your hips, so whatever is feeling good for you in this. For everybody, the arms are going to come back behind you. Inhaling, bringing them up, pressing the hips forward. Exhaling, coming back. Inhaling, reaching up. Inhale, exhaling, lengthening. Bring the arms back. Inhaling, coming on up. Bring the hands with an exhale to heart center here. Taking the right hand on the outside of that knee. Left hand can come to the back here. Opening here, twisting first. And then if you want, you can bring the arm right out, looking over the left fingertips. Or it's all left, looking over the fingertips. You got it. Breathe. I have no expectations. I never know what's going to come out of my mouth. It's fine. Breathing here. Taking a nice, one more nice breath. And coming back to center. Hands are going to come down either side of the front foot. And we're just going to move it over to the right side, opening through that knee here and the hip. Again, if you need a variation, if that's not going to work for you, we can just bring your left ankle over that right knee and just play with this pose, keeping length through the back, toes coming in and working that pose. It's all good. They all do the same thing. Don't beat your body up about it. Don't beat yourself up about it. You've got this. All options are good. Puffing up the chest, if you're in the pigeon here, you can bend through that back knee. Again, you might just bring it in. You might not be able to reach it. So just bringing it in. If you can play with bringing it towards you, you can play. Pulling it in towards you. And you can come up with any variation that you like here. All good. And feeling free when you're ready to release. And bring yourself down here. Taking a breath. Shoulders away from the ears. Relaxing through the jaw. Slowly coming up, not having any expectation of where we're going next, because it doesn't always happen in the same way. We're going to bring that front leg back up so that it's in a lunge. And we're just going to lengthen through that back leg, lengthening through the front leg. Remember, this is where we got to, somewhere along the other side. So we're going to bring that left hip back, right hip coming forward. Breathing here, seeing if you can get length through the back. Again, if you've got more flexibility, you can fold over that front leg. Excellent. Then we're going to bring that knee back down, moving the blocks or whatever you might have. Hands come either side of that front foot. Just bringing it back, finding your downward facing dog here. Any movement you want to begin with, you can just sway from side to side if that feels good. And then you've got a choice. You can walk your feet up towards your hands, Or you can bend your knees looking forward, and you can kick a few times, trying to do some bunny hops here. Just bringing your heels to your butt. And then at the end, you can just jump, bringing yourself forward, lifting up, halfway lift. Exhaling, folding forward. So you can bend your knees any amount. You're trying to make a sandwich of your body. Chest coming in towards your thighs. Breathing here. And inhale, arms coming either side of your body. And all the way up, touching at the top, a little back bend here. And exhaling, hands to heart center. Closing your eyes just for a moment, feeling the ground beneath you. Excellent. We're going to inhale here, reaching up, arms touch. Exhaling, we're folding forward here. Again, one more time. Now this is challenging again, but don't give up. Give it a go, right? You never know, so don't have any expectations. You're going to grab onto your right big toe. In fact, I'll mirror you. So you're just grabbing onto your right big toe. You're lifting up. This might be as far as you want to go. You might have something under your right hand or your left hand to hold you there. So you're lifting up, and that might be as far as you go. Or you can try and bring that leg out to the side. Now it might just come up a little bit. That's okay. Just lifting up wherever you get to. And breathe. And then placing it down. Other side. So again, you can have something to lean on with your hand, lifting up through that left leg, just off the ground. And maybe bringing it out to the side. However much it goes, it's okay. Taking a breath. And release. Folding forward one more time. You can shake your head no here. You can nod your head yes. And then just allow your head just hang loose. So like a ripe piece of fruit on a tree. And then your arms coming out to the sides. And you can keep your knees bent. We're just coming into a chair pose. Lifting through the toes, bringing the weight to the back of the heels or the back of the feet. Lifting here. Great. And then inhale, reaching up, hands touch. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Closing the eyes. Slowing the heartbeat down. Slowing the breath. Excellent. Calming down onto the mat. So actually, you might still want something to sit on for the moment. We're going to either bring something that we can sit on underneath the sits bones, and then have the ankles and the feet on both sides of your legs. So you can either just open through the chest like this. So this is one option. If you have a little bit more space, you might come onto your forearms. So again, no giving yourself a hard time, just listening. Your body might just be happy with that first option. And if you're super flexible, you can come all the way down. You can remove the block, and you can just bring your chest or your back rather down and your arms up. No judgment, no comparing. It doesn't matter where you are. Everybody is different. Taking a couple of breaths, making sure your knees are okay. You don't want any pain in your knees here. A few deep breaths. And then slowly finding your way up, however that comes, moving your legs out of the way. And we're just going to come down all the way onto the back. So you can just slowly bring yourself down and bring your feet in towards your fingertips. So maybe you can feel the fingertips on the back of your heels, pressing your shoulders down into the ground. So we're going to work with the breath here. We're going to inhale, lifting through the arms and the fingers and lifting the hips. And then exhaling, we're going to come down with the breath. So doing a few of those movements here, lifting everything up and reaching, and exhaling, just slowly coming down. You've got this. Three more deep breaths, movements with the breath. Making each one count. Excellent. You're going to squeeze the left knee in, the right leg can come out. You can just hover off the ground if that feels okay, or you can let it go. Just listening to your body. Really squeezing in that knee and breathing. Shoulders pressing into the mat. Releasing the hovered leg. You're just going to move the other knee across the body so it comes down towards the mat. It may not come anywhere close. You can put something underneath it if you like. And your left arm is going to come out perpendicular to the body, trying to keep that left shoulder pressing into the mat. And you can look over the left fingertips, closing the eyes here if you like. Or if it's too much on your neck, just gaze can be up at the ceiling. Again, you can have a soft gaze or close your eyes. Inhale, coming through center, squeezing in both knees here, giving yourself a big, nice, unconditional hug here. Recognizing life is hard, being there for yourself, you've got this, having your back. And then you can lengthen the left leg out, the right knee in, relaxing shoulders and head down to the mat. Breathing here. And then you're going to let that left leg just fall down to the ground. You're going to take the right arm out to your side, and then the right knee just moves across your body. And finding that openness, that twist here. Gaze can be over your right fingertips. Breathe. Inhaling, coming back to center. One more big hug here. And then stretching yourself out into Shavasana or corpse pose. So you can just allow the feet just to separate and take up as much space as they need. Your arms also coming out from your body about 30 degrees, palms facing up. Shoulders pressing into the mat. Closing your eyes. So you can let go of control here. This is a good time to practice. Letting go of control of your breath. Even letting go of control of your mind, right? If stuff comes in and out, it comes in and out. Just notice. Just allowing any stress, any tension just to leave your body. And just be. Enjoy this moment. It's a gift, as every moment is. Finding a little bit of movement in your body, maybe wriggling your toes, your fingers, and maybe stretching your arms up overhead, finding length from your toes all the way up to your fingertips. And then squeezing your knees in one more time towards your body. Final hug of the class. And rolling onto your right side. You can use your right arm as a pillow if you like, finding yourself in fetal pose. Just feeling the solid ground beneath you there to support you. And then gently pressing yourself up into a seated pose. You can use something to sit on if you'd like, or just finding length through your back, however that works. Your palms can face up and just resting on your thighs, thumbs and index fingers touching, still with your eyes closed. Pausing here for a moment. And then we're just going to work with a final breath here, where we inhale and we count how long it takes us to inhale. And we don't want to make it really long, so just keeping it like 3 or 4 count. And then on the exhale, we're going to double the length of the exhale. So again, your inhale, you're just counting, and then you're doubling the length of your exhale. So you don't want to be doing it so you lose breath and you have to really gasp for breath at the end. You're just trying to make it comfortable, but you're slowing the breath down, particularly that exhale. Finishing off one more. And just notice how you feel, or what you feel in your physical body, emotionally, and also in your mind. Bringing the hands to heart center. Inhaling, reaching to both sides and all the way up. Hands touch at the top. And exhaling, hands to heart center. Inhaling, reach and lifting up, gathering positive energy. And exhaling, bringing it towards your heart center. And one more time, reaching. And exhaling, bringing it in. So I invite you today, and maybe through the week, just to notice any nostalgia or grasping or attachment to the past, or expectations of the future, or even expectations of your family. And see if you can let go of some of them. Let it go and just see if life just works a little bit more smoothly. It just opens us up to what actually happens. So taking a moment here to find gratitude to yourself for taking the time for your body and for your mind. And then bringing the hands up to the third eye center between the eyebrows. Thank you so much for being here, joining me. It's been such a pleasure guiding each of you through your practice. Thank you so much, and namaste.